Cet épisode a été enregistré en anglais. Vous pouvez retrouver sa transcription en français sur notre site. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Prix Lausanne from Within podcast. In this podcast, we will talk with some of the key figures of the 50 years of history of the Prix Lausanne to have an insight into their professional opinions and shed some light on the most curious, complex, and burning issues in a professional dancer's career path. In today's episode, we are very happy to focus our attention on the Young Creation Award, our competition for young talented choreographers. So how does one go about creating contemporary choreography at quite a young age and while being trained as a classical dancer? What are the main challenges of this competition, and what are the insider's tips to help young people who are trying out the role of a choreographer? Who wouldn't be a better person to discuss this topic with us but our winner of the 2022 edition, Luca Branca, who has won with his variation Les Ombres du Temps. Don't hesitate to watch his variation on our YouTube channel or our website. Luca is currently a dance student at the Princess Grace Academy. Okay, so Luca, let's begin. How did you start working on your choreography for the Young Creation Award, and what were your first steps?
So I started thanks to Luca, my director, because he called me in his office and he told me, I received this email from Prix de Lausanne and they're doing this project of Young Creation Award, and I want to ask you if you feel like participating. And I said, of course, what an opportunity. And so then I listened to the music, because there were the music to choose. And when I started to listen to the music, I immediately felt connected. And from the music, I immediately felt, okay, this piece is about a young girl that is feeling like stuck in something, and she has bad thoughts and she wants to try to get free and just to enjoy life. And then I just sat on the floor and I just got inspired from everything, and I just started to move. Yeah. I started to improvise, and then slowly, in a kind of already one day, I had already kind of the first skeleton of the piece, and I was like quite impressed, because I was like not expecting like in one day already to kind of manage to have the choreography, but I was really inspired from this opportunity and everything. And then I started to take 3 girls, because I had to choose who had like the better movements and could like get better my informations. And then I chose Yo Nakajima. After the coaching, of course, I started to work with her, and we tried to went in the details. We changed a few things. We start to like upgrade the choreography, make it more deep and ready to reach for certain things. And yeah, it was quite a long process, but really enjoyable.
How long? When did you start to work on it?
I started at the beginning of the season. I think it was end of September almost. Until December we worked. Of course, we had to find the time also, because we had like exams, other classes and everything. And then unfortunately I got COVID, so I couldn't come back immediately in January after the vacations. So I had to teach her by Zoom. So it was hard, but we managed. So she trained for 2 weeks by Zoom. Then when I came back, we started working, because after a few weeks, 2 weeks, I think, we had to leave for Prix. And so in the last 2 weeks, I just gave everything I had, all like corrections, the last few notes. And then we arrived in Montreux, and it was like just wow, I was so happy. And then also when I had the classes with Damon Parcas and Cynthia Labarone, it was really nice to hear them talking about like this project, and I got really inspired, and everything they said, I was just like with my ears really open, trying to get all the advices. It was really like interesting. It gave me a lot, even more like food for my passion of choreographing. I can say after the week there, I got even more inspired to keep going with this like passion that I have apart being a dancer.
Right. Just to explain a little bit to our audience, the Young Creation Award is a project for our partner schools, and so 5 dancers from these schools are selected, and they've choreographed a solo of about 2.30 seconds on individual dancers, and their piece is already done before the competition, and they come during the week and perfect it with, as you mentioned, Damien Vargas and Cynthia Labaron. And this past year they performed both on Wednesday and Saturday, and discovered if they were prize winners on Saturday. Maybe you can also describe the feeling of finding out you were the winning choreographer.
It was kind of like a blackout because, of course, I was trying to give my best, but at the same time, I took this week as really like trying to learn everything I could. The process was much more important for me than the actual prize.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, when I was on stage waiting to hear the names and to find out, well, they said first the other winners, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm not, but it's okay. I was thinking the process is better.
Yeah.
Then when they said my name, I was like shocked. I don't know, my brain just stopped working for like 5 seconds, I think. And it was like Yo that was close to me. She like kind of pushed me to go and take the prize, and I was like not realizing what was going on. I was just like smiling, and I think I was like in a different dimension in that moment because I didn't realize. I was just really proud of the work that we have done and like happy because I think it's like really important that young choreographers tries to find their way to grow and to take place in this world of dance and choreographing. And when I won, I was like feeling proud for all the 5 participants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's also a great week for visibility. Most of it was live streamed, so it's really great for these young choreographers. Right now, you're here with us this week during our summer intensive.
Yes.
So basically, after the competition, the 2 winners are invited to come to the summer intensive to work on their choreographies a little bit more, see if they need to tweak a little bit so that it's ready for the next competition. Because what happens is your variation becomes part of the contemporary variation for the next 2023 candidates. And you have a major role in the competition. You're invited as an official Prix Lausanne coach. So it's a real big step as a choreographer, young choreographer, and also a real privilege to be part of that repertory. And so, right now you're spending a week coaching on these participants, and we wanted to know, how is it going? They're about to actually present your solo today and tomorrow.
I've tried in these few days to give all the notions and the information that I gave to Yona Kajima because I wanted to see how also them in 4 days they can manage to get until their maximum point, let's say, because Yo had like few months to learn the piece, but I'm seeing they're working really hard and really good. I'm really happy and impressed because it's quite hard to learn this piece like in a few days, but they're managing to understand the movements, to understand what I'm searching for. Plus for me, this choreography is really about expression and like feelings, so I'm working a lot on that because I think the public, they see the expression, they get touched from the emotions of the dancer. And I see now they're concentrating a lot about the techniques and about like the movements and remember the choreography. But I really want them to enjoy mostly also because it's like a few days they learn, so it's not the competition, let's say, so they can enjoy more now. Yesterday we had a good talk and I made a little speech about this, and I saw already the difference. It changed immediately. They understood they have to be more relaxed, and then of course they have to remember the choreography and make also the correction part of it. But mostly what I want to see is them dancing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely a good practice for you because candidates for the next competition, they just learn your variation via video before, and then they also arrive in the competition and have to absorb as much input from you within just 4 days as well.
Yes.
So it's a similar format. So it's a good practice for you, for sure.
Yes.
What would be the most challenging part of your participation in the young creation from A to Z? So from before being selected to coaching now in the summer intensive and preparing for becoming a coach for the Prix Lausanne.
The use of the words, what you say to them, you have to be really clear. Take your time, maybe also to explain, not just to show, but to really like make them understand what you want, to connect with them as a person, as a coach, as a choreographer. I think it's important that they really understand what you're saying.
Do you intend to continue on this path of being a choreographer, or do you rather prefer first having maybe a dancer career?
Of course, I also want to dance. I want to keep choreographing and dancing at the same time. And once my career is over and I cannot dance anymore because my body doesn't permit it or something goes wrong, well, yeah, for sure I want to keep going with my choreographing projects and this passion,
So going back to your variation, when you were creating your variation, were you keeping in mind the young age of the participants of the Prix Lausanne?
Of course, I was thinking about their age. I was thinking about also the pressure that they have during the competition. So I was thinking, how can I manage to make them do a variation that can show their qualities, the technique that they have? And I was thinking also about what is better for maybe the Prix de Lausanne competition.
Right.
So not just maybe contemporary movements, but maybe to add some technical steps like this that they can see there. Also maybe balance, their way of turning, the jumps. I think it's also important for this kind of competition to show everything you have. So your quality,
a range of steps.
Yeah. So your technique, your qualities, and of course the challenge that you have. So it's not just, okay, I can choose this choreography because it's easy, but you can choose this choreography because you have different things to show, and maybe one or two things are easy things that you can do and you can adapt to the choreography, and maybe others are some challenge, which I think is important to take as a competition. It's important to challenge yourself, not just to go safe, but to really go out also from your comfort zone to see how much you improve during the week. And it's also important what you do after this week.
Exactly.
How you take everything you got from the week.
Absolutely. I'm curious, did you watch previous contemporary variations for inspiration, or did you decide to keep a blank sheet for yourself and get it as creative as possible?
Of course, I watched quite few of the contemporary variations to get inspired and to see also, okay, this variation is more about the balance, this is more about the musicality, this is more about this and this. And I try to make one mind kind of, okay, what is the important thing of my choreography? And I focused on the expression.
Wonderful. And last question, Luca. What advice would you give to the next young choreographers that are applying for the Young Creation Awards?
Don't think too much about impressing. I think it's really important that they understand what they want to do, what they want to show to the public, what they want also to learn from this experience, not just to think about winning moment or the prize. I think it's really about like learning and taking this experience and make it yours, and also to work on diversities and different movements, different qualities, and not to just maybe have one, because of course you have your best, let's say, moves, and maybe you focus just on those. I think it's important also to open your eyes and your mind and to get inspired from other choreographers, and you can play and challenge yourself.
Thank you for being with us today, and we look forward to seeing you at the 50th anniversary of the Prix de Lausanne.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
We hope to see you all at the next Prix de Lausanne, which is taking place from January 29th to February 5th, 2023. Thank you for listening to this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't hesitate to click like and share. If you have any questions for a future guest, send us a message via our website or our social media. Stay tuned for the next episode.